Why is working so exhausting and yet not profitable? This video will explain everything thoroughly. Let's start with a somewhat harsh conclusion. If you lack any additional value or leverage besides working, it's almost a self-destruction. Why do the vast majority of people today have to rely on jobs to survive? Because modern industrial and educational systems have stripped ordinary people of their ability to produce independently. On one hand, ordinary individuals cannot afford expensive production tools. Industrialization in the 19th century began with the steam engine and gradually evolved with machinery and technology, leading to the development of various production machines. These tools significantly boost production efficiency, but they are also incredibly costly, making them accessible only to the wealthy. These affluent individuals purchased machines but did not operate them. They hired others to do so. These workers, or laborers, are characterized by the fact that they do not own the tools used for production. Thus, they can only sell their labor to those who possess the tools. On the other hand, the highly specialized division of labor prevents individuals from breaking free from the production system. For instance, a worker who used to create needles from raw materials can only produce 3 needles a day. However, if the needle-making process is divided into stages, 10 workers can each handle a small part, resulting in a maximum output of 300 needles a day. Although each individual's working hours remain unchanged, their productivity increases tenfold on average. Consequently, the enhancement of social production efficiency arises not only from technological breakthroughs, but also from the transformation of production organization. By segmenting the production process into distinct stages managed by different workers, factories were born. Simultaneously, modern education emerged in the context of industrialization, aiming to supply standardized labor to the industry. The educational system serves society, making it essential for individuals to rely on the production system to create value. The inability to own production tools and the incapacity to escape the production system compel workers to sell their labor to capitalists who own these tools and systems, thereby allowing their surplus labor value to be exploited. Capitalists, motivated by profit maximization, are willing to pay the highest wage that merely ensures workers can survive without seeking higher pay elsewhere. Therefore, the worker's wage is determined by the local cost of living and the supply-demand dynamics of the labor market. When the cost of living remains stable and labor supply exceeds demand, wage growth stagnates. This is the fundamental reason why working wages only sustain survival rather than leading to wealth accumulation. If this were the only issue, the long hours of work might not lead to self-destruction. The greatest danger of working is the complete deprivation of a person's sense of purpose. A job devoid of meaning from which one cannot escape can truly lead to despair. Fyodor Dostoevsky was sentenced to 4 years of hard labor. From this experience, the author notes from the House of the Dead. In this autobiographical book, he asserts that to utterly break the system, one must impose the harshest punishment, forcing them to engage in utterly pointless and meaningless work. The extreme division of labor reduces individuals to mere cogs in a machine. Much like Sisyphus, condemned to push a boulder up a hill only for it to roll back down, individuals endure monotonous, mechanical, and meaningless work, eroding their sense of existence and value, leading to a mental crisis. Kant said that people are ends in themselves, not means to an end. However, during 8 hours or more of work each day, individuals become mere tools, with profits as the ultimate goal. The alienation of human significance during working hours is the essence of the pain associated with working. Therefore, the only way to break free from tedious, painful, and unpromising jobs is to independently create a surplus value loop. When can individuals live as ends in themselves? The answer is through active creation. Humans possess an innate creative instinct. When an individual can utilize their abilities to adeptly face and solve problems, the process and outcome of creation bring immense satisfaction and joy. Workers often feel devoid of creative joy because the results belong to the employer, not themselves. Thus, transforming from a worker into a creator is the first step toward liberation from suffering. So what should one create? The answer lies in generating assets that can continuously generate income. For instance, if you possess a skill, you can develop software or an application. If you have knowledge or expertise, you can write a book or create an online course. These products, which require no additional labor to generate your assets. Once you have assets that can generate continuously, you gain the power and confidence to escape capitalist exploitation. If you feel empowered to become an independent creator, the next step is to build your value. If you currently work at a company, don't limit yourself to a single aspect of production. Instead, try to view the entire production flow from a holistic perspective. Understand how your employer makes money, and their business model can be condensed or simplified into a group that one person can manage, and what skills and experiences you need to acquire to achieve this. Approach your job with the mindset that the purpose of your work is not just survival, but paving the way to create your value in the future. When you can independently create a business that generates value, you will completely escape the suffering of being an employee and take charge of your destiny. This is the goal of my new series, Deep Evolution Society. I will engage with more profound topics and more rigorous knowledge, inviting everyone to think and explore the relationship between the individual and the self, the individual and the collective, and the individual and society. We will understand how the world operates, reassess our choices and actions, and strive to be individuals who recognize that while the world is imperfect, we refuse to accept defeat and believe in our ability to create change. Just as a leaf must strain to unfurl from its painful curl, so too must we break free from unthinking ignorance. That is what it means to truly live. If you found this video insightful, please give it a like and subscribe.